Hello folks, how are we doing? How are you keeping this week? I hope you're all staying safe and well. Today we are going to focus on building a bit more strength in our arms, and we're going to build on what we already have while adding in maybe something new. We'll see how we go. I have my blocks and my strap on hand. You can use a tie, use whatever. Have them on hand. If you have a blanket that you need for under your knees, also grab that before we start. We're not having our usual relaxation for 15 minutes. We are going to start, however, in sitting. So, coming to sitting, once you've grabbed all your things, pause me and come back. Coming to sitting, you can have your legs crossed or your feet together, whichever is most comfortable for you. Placing our hands lightly on our knees, and we're going to start by warming the pot. We're going to stir our cauldron. Generating this movement from your hips, from your pelvis. We're going to come forward, opening our chest, drawing our shoulders together, and coming back, curling our back, tucking our chin, using that in-breath to come forward, and out-breath to tuck under, and once more forward. I notice myself doing this a lot when I do this. I need to stop. I need to create that bit of length in our back and look more diagonally in front of me. So if you also do that, where you strain forward, because I'm usually watching my class, look down towards the floor as you come forward and tucking under to come back. When you come back, you're changing the direction of your circle. Coming forward and coming back, tucking under. Continuing to work with your breath. Use this as a chance to connect with your body. Notice what's going on. And as you come back, we're going to come up to sitting. On to nice waving of the spine. Again, generating this movement from your pelvis. Aiming to move slowly. Before we start, change the cross of your legs. There we go. So, tilting our pelvis forward, coming forward, all the way as you fold over, and then as if somebody has you a string behind your belly button, you're tucking under, rolling back, coming back on your bum, and arm curl up to sitting, and just continue to work with your breath, allowing that wave to travel up your spine. Keep on moving. You can have it as a nice continuous flow. One more time. You notice my hands are now on the floor. Place your hands wherever's comfortable and whatever works for you. And coming up to sitting. Time to twist. So change the cross of your legs again. Reaching up on your in-breath and on your out-breath. We're all turning to our left, placing our left hand on the floor behind us very lightly, our right hand on our right knee, looking over our left shoulder. Don't collapse into that left hand. Draw that shoulder away from your ear. Hand is lightly on the floor. Continue to look over your left. Your body goes where your eyes are, so keep on. Use your in-breath to sit up nice and tall, and your out-breath to rotate. In-breath coming back to center. Out-breath to rotate towards the left. Looking towards the right, I should say. Looking over that right shoulder, left hand on our right knee, right hand on the floor behind us. Soften your shoulders. Keep on looking round that right shoulder. In breath back to center. Out breath gently folding forward. Allowing your head to release to the floor. It doesn't have to rest on the floor, you're releasing towards the floor. If you're here, that's perfectly acceptable. You're aiming to soften. And coming back up to sitting. We may have a guest. Is that right, Banana? Coming to the back of your mat, hands just behind our hips, feet hip width apart, and we're going to rock from side to side. Allowing our knees to rock towards the floor. Now, can you do this without your hands? Sweeping our legs now from side to side. Really rolling around on your bum. If your knees are okay, we're going to come up onto our knees. You can also use a hand to help you come up until you get the hang of it. And coming back down. You're aiming to eventually do this without hands and to help strengthen your hips and be able to just come up onto your knees. But again, use what you need to for now. Hand to the floor is okay. But trying to make your legs do most of the work and your hips do most of the work. So you're clenching your bum as you come up, you're pushing your hips forward. Once more. One on the right and one on the left. Lovely. Coming to the front of your mat. We're going to stand up without any hands, if possible. It's okay to place a hand if you need to. Try without, see how far you get. Right foot on the floor, reaching down into that right foot, curl your toes under and come up to standing. And we're going to immediately come back down because I want to do another exercise. Breath in, breath out as you fold forward and have a bit of a dangle. Having a nice swing from side to side. Allow your head to drop. And coming back onto your knees. Onto all fours. So we have our hands under our shoulders with nice big spread fingers. Our knees are hip width apart, so that's about 2 fists apart. So make sure your knees aren't together. Give yourself a stable base. Using our right arm first, so we want to keep everything as level as possible. So draw your tummy in. You're pressing into your left hand. You're keeping your weight nice and evenly distributed between your right and left knees. And we're reaching forward with our right and lowering down. And then we're reaching forward with our left and lowering down. I'm making sure I don't reach up higher. That's not the aim. So if we do it like this, we're strengthening here, we're strengthening our shoulders. If we just arch up, you're just dumping into your right hand. So you're aiming to keep everything level. So your weight is evenly distributed between each leg. Right arm out, extending. We're placing it on the floor, left arm. We're placing it on the floor. Right arm once more. Back onto the floor and left. Extending it forward. You're continuing to lock between your hands and lowering down. And release your hands for a moment. This can get quite intense on your hands. There is the option to tuck your mat under to help take the pressure off your hands. So you're raising your wrists slightly by doing it that way and giving a bit more cushioning. You're aiming to press, really press into the floor as if you're a cat. You may have even seen a cat wandering about. So as if you're a cat, you're really pressing into that index finger, into the pads of your hands. Now setting up again, making sure your wrists are under your shoulders, your knees are hip width apart. We're going to work on our knees. So curl your right toes under, pushing that right foot away and lifting your right hip. Now we're aiming to level off our hips. If you want, you can take a block, place it on your lower back or a book. This also works. This could help you keep your hips level. So pushing away with my right, and I'm only lifting as far as I can keep my hips level. I think about drawing my right hip down, flexing my foot, so I'm not opening up to the side. I'm opening up the side and the block's staying there. But I'm aiming to draw my right hip down to keep my hips strong. I'm drawing my belly in, lowering that right knee. Left, curl your toes under, pressing your left foot away. So engage into that tummy, create a bit of length in your spine, looking just in front of your hands and lifting that left hip, flexing that foot, pushing away through that heel. Have a look. Are your hips level? And lowering down, right hip. Your weight should be evenly distributed between your hands. Create that bit of space in your spine. Lowering down, left. And lowering down once more on the right. And lowering down, and on your left. So thinking about pushing that left heel away, so lengthening that left side. You're drawing into your belly, your hips are even, and lowering down and coming back and giving your wrists a wee bit of a break. You can even come into a nice child's pose. Give your hands a bit of a shake maybe. If at any point this gets too much for your wrists, take a break. I'm aware some of you have wrist issues, so please listen to what you need. You're at home, use what you have in your house, get a blanket, do something to help your body. So, setting up again, we're going to do opposite hand and knee. So aiming to keep everything level, so I don't want it like that. You're looking just in front of your hands, between your hands, so just in front to keep your neck long. We'll start with our arm, right arm extending, left leg away. So thinking about drawing into my belly, pressing into my right and left evenly, and replacing, and we'll do that on the opposite side. So left arm away, right leg away, pushing into that heel, looking just in front of your hands, and drawing in, right hand, left leg, and coming back, and opposite. There will be a small bit of movement in your lower back because, well, our body has to move. But keep drawing in that lower belly, and returning. Last time, right arm, left leg, continuing to press into that left hand and right knee, and return, and once more, left arm, right leg, extending into that heel, reaching forward. Where are you looking? And returning to the floor, and coming to sit back. Give your hands a wee shake. You can even have a nice roll around with your wrists. Lovely. And now we are going to come up to standing. So right foot into the floor, curl your toes under, pushing up. Feet are hip width apart. I'm going to just step back from my light. So you're at the front of your mat. And breath in as you reach up through centre, really lengthening up your side body. And then pressing into that right foot as you reach up and over. Pressing into your left foot as you come back to centre, reaching up and over. Once more, pressing into your right, up and gently over, and left, up and gently over. And back to centre, reaching up, reaching up, reaching up. Big fold in your knees as we fold forward, pouring yourself over, releasing your head. having a gentle sway from side to side. You can have little bounces to help release your lower back, releasing your upper body as much as possible, really ragdoll down. Now weight into your left foot, hands to the floor, peeling your right foot off and stepping back as far as you're able, lowering that left knee, walking your hands to the inside of your right foot, and we're going to roll around on that right foot. Taking your time, warming up your hip. Changing the direction of your circle, allowing your foot to roll in and out. Framing your foot, so one hand on either side of your foot, coming back, so peeling your toes towards your face, flexing that foot, and forward. Back once more, you're not locking that knee, and forward. Back once more, peeling your toes towards your face, lengthening that hamstring, and forward, hands to the inside, bringing that right foot back into our cat-cow. On your out breath, so hands are under our shoulders, our knees are hip width apart, that's about 2 fists. On your out breath, tucking under, hollowing your back, sending your spine towards the ceiling, looking towards your belly button or between your thighs. On your in-breath, reversing that movement, starting from your pelvis, tilting forward, allowing your belly to fill, joining your shoulder blades together and your head's the last thing up. And continuing on your out-breath, tucking under, working your way up your spine, your head's the last thing down. And on your in-breath, tilting forward, allowing your belly to fill. And your head is the last thing up. Now allowing a bit of freedom into your cat-cow, so have a roll around. You can walk your hands to either side of your mat. Sink your hips back, lengthening up your side body. Come forward, open your front of your hips, have a wiggle about. You can come all the way back into a child's pose. Work with where you're at today. Roll around, release any tension. Use your out breath to let go. Lovely. Everybody, hands back to inside as we step our left foot forward. You can pick your foot up and move it forward if you need to. Hands to the inside of your left foot, and we're rolling around, opening up our hip and warming our knee, rolling in and out on our foot. Change the direction of your circle. And framing your foot, so one hand on either side, coming forward. And as you come back, you're peeling your toes off, flexing them towards your face, lengthening that hamstring, not locking your knee. Coming forward and back. If you want more of a stretch with your hamstring, think about straightening your back. So rather than just curling over, flatten your back, draw your shoulder blades together, draw your belly in, and then with your flat back, gently fold forward as far as you can keep your back flat. Because by lengthening your back, you're lengthening the stretch all the way up your body. Coming forward once more, coming back, and forward. Tuck your right toes under, lift your right knee, step to the front of your mat, and coming all the way up to standing. Remember, big bend in our knees, sink our tailbone down as we uncurl all of the way up to standing. Let's go again. Breath in. On your breath out, gently folding forward, big bend in our knees, coming all the way over. Let's halfway lift, so Hands are coming to our thighs. We're tucking our tailbone under. We're drawing our belly in. Lengthening our back, drawing our shoulder blades together. Locking in front of our mat. So nice flat back. And then folding forward, weight into our right foot, stepping back with our left, lowering your left knee. Knee is over ankle, weight into that right foot. Breath in as you sweep your hands back, and breath out. We're going to sink into our low lunge. Now, remember our hips. So left hip is drawing forward, right hip is drawing back, and we're also squaring our hips off side up and down. So left hip draws up, right hip draws down. That's quite strong in your hips. We're aiming to create space while also strengthening the joint. We don't open it all up and it becomes too loose and of no use to you in a few years. Reaching up as if I've got you by the fingers and I'm pulling you up. Keep on breathing. Trying to breathe through your nose. On your out breath, pressing into that front foot, folding forward, hands to the floor, bringing that left knee back. And we're going to take a downward dog. So, curl your toes under, send your weight back, back, back over your heels, as far back as you'll go. And we're on curling towards the ceiling. Let's walk our dog. So bending alternate legs, bending at the knee. Nice big spread fingers. You're pressing your index finger mound into the floor, screwing it into the floor. Sending hips up towards the ceiling, and we're going to just take a moment of stillness. Hips towards the ceiling. You can have a big bend in your knee still. Locking towards your belly button or between your thighs. And then lowering to the floor. This time, left leg is coming forward. Oh, we didn't do our Cobra. How rude. Bring our left leg back. Oh, honestly, see this teaching from home. Placing your forearms on the floor and coming down all the way to the floor. Now, pressing our pelvis into the floor, coming up into a low Cobra. So remember, you're pressing into the floor with your pelvis. Hands on either side, and we're going to rock from side to side. Good for the digestion. Lowering back down, forehead to the floor, forearms to the floor. Curl your toes under. Lift with your bum. Bum is up and you're reversing back. And we're going to have another little downward dog. So uncurling and just walking your dog. Lowering back down to your knees, bringing your left leg forward. Knee is over ankle. Pressing into that left foot. Breath in, sweep your hands back. Breath out as you re-bend. And you're bringing your right hip forward, left hip back, and leveling up. Reaching up. As if I've got you by the fingers and I'm drawing you up, reaching up towards the ceiling. Go on, keep reaching, keep breathing. On your out breath, folding forward, curl your back toes under, lift that back knee, step to the front of your mat, and then sinking your hips, bending your knee, uncurling all of the way up to standing. And just have a little wobble from side to side, ease your hips. And we have another one. So breath in, reaching up, lengthening up, really reaching. And breath out as you fold forward, big bend in your knees, pouring yourself over, weight into your right foot, stepping back with your left, lowering your left knee. Knee is over ankle. And we're going to twist. So left hand is on the floor. Make sure it's lightly, you're not dumping all your weight into your left hand. Right hand comes to our right hip crease. So you're tucking that thumb into the hip crease. And using breath in to lengthen and your out breath to twist to the right. So you're turning your torso to your right leg. Your right knee is staying in. So we're not releasing our right leg out, it's staying in. just for this one. Coming up onto your fingertips to give you a bit more space. Rotating, keep looking over that right shoulder. And then extending that right hand up towards the ceiling. Keep on breathing. On your out breath, untwisting, hand to the floor, right knee back. And we're going to lower all the way down. Now, we have done onto the forearms. We shall try knees, chin, chest. It's not one we visit very often in class, so I thought it'd be nice to reintroduce it. So you walk your hands slightly in front of your shoulders again, bringing your weight forward a bit. So I'm almost over my hands. And I'm aiming to bring my knees were already on the floor, my chin and my chest to the floor, like so. And then curling through my spine as I lower my hips and I bring my chest up. You can also do knees, chin, chest on your forearms, like that, and then scooch your weight forward. See which works for you. So, knees, chin, chest, and then curling through our spine to lower. So you're curling like you're tucking under to lower your hips towards the floor. Give it a bash, see how you get on. No harm in trying these things, right? So, weight is forward and we're lowering knees, chin, chest, and then tucking onto the floor, pressing our pelvis into the floor, into our low cobra. Stay here if you have issues with your lower back or you have SI issues, anything like that, please. The rest of you coming into our Sphinx, elbows under shoulders, drawing your shoulder blades together, shoulders away from our ears, and we're looking up towards the ceiling, drawing into your belly, so you're lengthening up that front body. Keep on breathing. Lovely. On your out breath, lowering all the way down. Either forearms to the floor or hands under shoulders, tucking your toes under, lift with your bum and reversing back into your downward dog. So you're looking towards your belly button, drawing your shoulders away from your ears, aiming to keep your weight back towards your hips and your hips up towards the ceiling, pressing your hands into the floor. When I talk about screwing my hands in, I'm doing that action with my hands. So my right hand is twisting right, my left hand is twisting left. I'm drawing my armpits together. So it's that action, screwing your hands into the floor. Keep on breathing. You can still have a nice big bend in your knee. It's more important to have that length in your back than it is to have straight legs. If your legs are straightening, do not lock your knees. Keep on breathing. Everybody lowering to your knees and stepping your left foot forward. Hand to the inside of our left foot. Left hand, our thumb is coming into our hip crease. Nice breath in to lengthen our spine, tucking our tailbone slightly, so feel that drawing in and up in our belly and your tailbone lengthening down. And on your out breath, rotating towards your left, aiming to keep your right hand nice and light. Using your left foot to press into the floor, draw your shoulders away from your ears, keep rotating left, keeping that left knee in, left foot still fully planted on the floor. And then lengthening up with that left hand, drawing in and up in your belly. Get your mula bandha going, get that bit of fire going. Keep on breathing. And rotating back, hand to the floor, curling your back toes under, lifting your back knee, stepping to the front of your mat and curling all of the way up to standing. Giving your legs a wee bit of a walk. I'm going to go again. I know you love them. Breath in. On your breath out, folding forward, big bend in your knees. Weight into your left foot this time, stepping back with your right. You can leave your toes curled under if you would like to try a high lunge. If not, Keep your knee on the floor, you do you. Knee over ankle, breath in as we sweep our hands back, breath out, sinking back into that front knee. What are your hips doing? Draw that right hip forward, left hip back. If you would like to try high lunge, push into that back heel. Everybody is reaching up towards the ceiling. Go on, really lengthen. Keep on breathing. I keep saying that, but it's so important. We tend to, when we're pushing that wee bit harder, forget to breathe and clench our jaw. Keep lengthening as if I've got you by the hand, pulling you up. Everybody folding forward, stepping back with that left foot. Now you can either lower to your knees and lower all the way down with your modified chaturanga, or you can try full chaturanga. See how you're feeling. I'm feeling a bit weak today, but I'll give it a bash. So you're pushing back into your heels and we're lowering down, arms are coming back and then pushing forward, chest is coming forward. You can come into your upward dog. My legs are strong and off the floor. Shoulders are drawing back, engaging into my tummy, looking up towards the ceiling. You can also be in your low cobra or in a sphinx. Listen to where you're at today. Regardless of where you are, everybody, drawing your belly in, lift with your bum first if you're on the floor. If not, you can lift with your bum anyway. Draw your belly button in, back into your downward dog. Keep on breathing. Look towards your belly button. Sending your hips up towards the ceiling. I always like to bend my knees to allow me to send my hips up and then gently re-straighten slightly. I'm pressing my hands into the floor, nice big sunflower hands. Now you can either lower to the floor or you can pick up your right foot and step it to between your hands. You can also pick your right foot up and move it to between your hands wherever you may be. Lowering that left knee to the floor, leaving your toes curled under if you're going for a high lunge. Pressing into that right foot, breath in as you sweep back, breath out into your lunge, reaching up. Check your hips, reaching up, so left hip is drawing forward, right hip is drawing back. If you're going for a high lunge, press into that back heel and you're looking up towards the ceiling. You're not clenching your right toes or your jaw. Pushing that back heel away. On your out breath, folding forward, stepping your left foot to the front of your mat and coming to standing, so sinking your hips, curling all the way up and hands to centre. Now we're going to have a little fun with some boats because, you know, why not? Breath in, breath out, folding forward, hands to the floor, and we'll squat before we get there, so you can stay in this squat if that's where you're comfortable. You might want to try widening your stance. Pick your foot up, widen your stance a wee bit. That might give you more space to sink your hips back and down. So you're aiming to get your bum closer to the floor. And you can try widening them a wee bit more. See how you go. Adjust your feet as necessary. I tend to have a little bit of a wiggle about trying to figure out where I'm at. So my hips are sinking down towards the floor. If you're still on your toes, that's okay. If you're still up here, that's okay. Listen to your body. If your heels are off the floor, that's perfectly fine. So hips are back, weight is down towards the floor, opening your chest up to the front of your mat. And we're going to just go from side to side, up and over. So up and over from side to side. You can use your hands on the floor to allow you to do this, but you're lifting your hips up and over. Once more, one way and then the other. And everybody, let's just lower to the floor for a moment, all the way Bring our knees in for a hug, and let's just take a wee break for a second. You can roll from side to side, or you can take your knees and do a nice froggy as you bring your knees out to the side and rejoining in centre and up. So they're going in opposite circles. Make sure you change the direction of your circles. Takes the pressure back out of your hips and releases that tension. Use this as an opportunity to slow your breath. Are you still breathing through your nose? It's so much better for our health to try and breathe through our nose where possible. Now, rocking and rolling. So, your hands can either be behind our thighs or on our shins, or you can cross at the ankle and hold your feet. See what works for you. You might change from week to week. Try them out, see what works. And we're extending our legs back over our head and then rolling forward. So that was mostly momentum, and you notice I came to sitting. So we're going to try and do it, but hover when we get to the front, so without placing our feet on the floor. So think about tucking under, sending our tailbone under, curling our back as we roll back and forward and hovering, so feet are off the floor, rolling back and forward and hover and rolling back and forward and hover. Lovely. Now we have been practicing both in class, so we're going to try and make it a wee bit tougher. See how you go, do what you can. We're all on our own yoga journey, so see where you're at today. We'll start off with this slightly easier version. So tucking that tailbone under, drawing your belly button in, so slight curve in your lower back. Our feet are on the floor, your shoulders are away from your ears, and we're going to lift our right leg and lower, and then our left leg and lower. Once more, right leg and left leg. And now we're going to lift both legs. Our shins are parallel with the floor. You're drawing your belly in. You're not holding onto your legs for dear life. You should be able to take your hands away. Give me some jazz hands, wriggly fingers. Shoulders are down. Lovely. And everybody lowering our feet to the floor, curling over. So now a slightly stronger version on your tummy. So we're aiming to get that nice and strong because we eventually want to do our crow. We had a bash the other week. We're going to try it again. So we're coming forward onto our sit bones. So you're balancing out those sit bones rather than tucking under. You're drawing your belly in and you're bringing it forward in your sit bones closer to your legs. This could be strong enough for you. That's okay. If you want, you can come back to that tucked under, but make sure you're drawing that belly button in, getting your mula bandha engaged so that perineum is drawn in and up, and you're coming forward if you're able. Shoulders are down, so you're sitting up nice and tall, and we're lifting one leg, and then we're lifting our left leg, and then we're lifting our right leg, and once more, left leg, and now we're going to try both legs together. I find it tough to sit on my sit bones here, so we're going to all work at it together. So you're aiming to draw your belly towards your legs, and we're going to bring our arms out. This is quite strong in the hips. Keep breathing. Shins are parallel with the floor, and everybody bringing them down, coming into, let's go into a cobbler. So feet are together. Walk your feet away to allow your knees to relax down, and we're just going to curl over in this one. So a nice soft cobbler. This is helping to open up our hips again, because that is quite strong in your hips. And slowing your breath. Release your head. Release your shoulders. Can you use your out breath to release any tension in your legs? Lovely. And everybody coming back up. And if what we were doing is strong enough for you, so if you're here and you're really having to, you're trying your hardest and you're here, you stay here, and that's awesome. Work with where you're at, please, always. You can try the next thing, see how you get on, try it once, and then come back to your boat as it was. So we'll try with the tucked under version, just because the other one's quite strong and we're going to be moving, and I think it's safer to have our tailbone tucked under. So we're lifting our right leg and our left leg. We're still engaging into our tummy. Shins are parallel with the floor. You're not holding on for dear life. Bringing our arms out. You're going to straighten your legs and bend, and then we're going to straighten and bend, and we're going to straighten once more and bend and lower to the floor. And again, you can come into easy pose, so our legs are crossed, and just gently fold forward, aiming to bring ourselves closer to the floor, wherever you might be today. And we'll sway gently from side to side, easing it out. And now one more variation on the boat. I know, I can hear you all cheering from home. Yay! We're going to give it a bash and see how we go. So, it's okay as well, hit pause, go into child's pose, take a minute if you need to. So, tucking our tailbone under, belly is engaged, perineum's drawn up. Perineum is the bit between the front and the back, so that's drawn in and up. And we're going to lift our one leg and then the other, so we're into this boat, and we're going to row. So you might want to watch first. I'm going to extend my arms out and my legs straighten, so I'm flattening my boat. This is our long boat, I guess, into our short boat. So now you've seen it, we're all going to do 5 of these together. So you'll continue to draw your belly button in. So we're extending, looking towards our toe and coming forward. You're trying not to tuck and you're trying not to create tension in your neck. Extending, drawing your belly button in, coming up as much as you can in your sit bones and extending, woo, find that balance and coming up and have a bit of a laugh as you go. Extend, coming up, and last time, you can totally do this, come on. Extend and coming up and back into our Cobblers Pose, so our feet are together and allowing ourselves to curl forward, to soften, to release. You can give your feet a nice massage while you're here. Can you use your out breath to let go of any tension you're holding in your hips, in your shoulders? You can have a soft, very gentle bounce, just to release those hips a wee bit. Nothing too sharp. If you feel a sharp pain at any time when you're doing yoga, stop what you're doing, okay? And calming all the way up. Well done. Now, so we've done a new thing today, but something we have tried is our crow. Now, I'm just going to grab a blanket. You may want to grab cushions and blankets and put them in front of your head or in front of your face. So we want to engage that belly button again, drawing that in and up when we practice. So you got that in and up, coming up. And we've done some arm warming up. We're going to give it a bash. If it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world. You're going to just see how you go. You're going to find what works for you. So, having your cushion or your pillows in front of your face, remember to always look forward when you're doing your crow. Do not look back to your feet. Do not look back at all. Always look forward. Your body goes where your eyes are looking. If you're looking back, you're going to tip forward onto your head. So please, please, please be careful. Always, always, always look forward. And we're also going to make sure we use nice big spread fingers, because we want to widen our base and really strengthen, pressing down into our fingers. So our fingers are about hip width apart, and let's just warm up a wee bit more into it. So our feet are drawing together. My heels and the foot mount of my big foot are drawing together, and my knees are wide. And you want to do that as wide as you're able. I'm walking my hands back a bit so they're more in line with my shoulders, so they're about shoulder width apart. Now I'm going to draw my belly button in, and I'm pressing into my feet as I lift up my hips up towards the ceiling. I'm looking towards my blanket, and I'm coming forward onto my biceps, onto the backs of my arms, and I'm going to lift my right leg and then lower, and then I'm going to lift my left leg. So practice coming forward as you lift and then lower down. The crow is a balancing posture. There's lots of different ways to get into it. Another way of doing it, I'm just trying to think of different examples. Another way of doing it is coming up, bringing your knees in line with your biceps and going forward, pushing forward, and then gently lifting one foot and then the other. It's more about bringing your weight forward. It feels odd at first, I know. It took me a while when I first started using it to really trust that it was going to be okay and not just fall. You want to always have that drawing in and up of your belly to help strengthen that, to hold you up. And if you're pressing down into your hands, so it's those strong chaturanga arms that we do when we do our lowering down, where our elbows are coming back. So you're engaging into your arms as you press away. And you're just bringing, for now, your knees to the outside of your arms, and you're pressing your knees into your arms and your arms into your knees. So you've got that resistance either way. Okay? So let's try again. Try not to overthink it. I'm aware I'm explaining it a lot, which can be just as confusing. But try not to overthink it. Keep on breathing. It's okay. So pressing into the floor, feet are together. You're lifting your bum up, so our knees are in line with our biceps, and we're just sending our weight forward, right? So our weight is forward. You should feel that resistance in the backs of your arms. Keep on pressing forward a wee bit more, and allow one leg to lift and then the other, or just one, and see how you go. Keep looking forward, keep looking forward, keep looking forward, and lower. If you have lowered a few times in between, that's okay. Try just lifting one arm. Just keep your weight going forward. Keep looking forward. Trust that you've got yourself. Draw your belly button in. And if you tumble over, try to go sideways. Try not to go onto your face. Remember, you're practicing this at your own risk. Any injury, I'm very, very sorry, but please be careful. And you'll get there eventually. You're in no rush. We're going to keep revisiting this over the coming weeks, so let's see how we get on. Now, that's quite tough on the wrist, so give your hands a bit of a shake out. Have a little shuggle with your hands. I quite like that word, that's one of Brenda's words, I think, shuggle. And give them a bit of a pumping action. So you're extending and curling them back in. Little finger dance, give them a wiggle. And a shake. And now we're going to come all the way down to the floor, to our relaxation. So, on the floor, we're going to lower down. We're just going to have a pause on the way. We know I love my pauses. So feet are a bit hip width apart, and hands are on the back of our thighs. Again, not holding on for dear life, just lightly resting. And on your out breath, tucking under, and we're going to pause. Give me some jazz hands. And then we're going to lower a wee bit more, and we're going to pause, and you're going to give me even more jazz hands. And then everybody lowering down just a wee bit more, unless you're almost on the floor. More jazz hands, and lowering all the way down. Grabbing your tie or strap, you're taking it and you're placing it around the ball of your foot. Adjust if you need to. Try not to have it around the arch of your foot, can cause damage. So left leg is bent. Right leg is extending towards the ceiling. You're aiming to send your heel towards the ceiling. So press through that heel, keeping your right hip down. You're aiming to eventually have your foot up towards your face. But these things take time. So allow that time. Allow your out breath to release any tension. You can send your left leg away, straightening. That intensifies the stretch, intensifies the lengthening. Make sure that right knee isn't locking. Give it a bit of a jiggle just to make sure. Try to release your shoulders down towards the floor. If you have enough strap, you can allow that to release. Slowing your breath. Now everybody, keeping your left hip down. Left hip is always staying down. Release your right leg out to the side as much as you're able to keep that left hip down. You might notice it changes from week to week, from day to day. Depends how often you decide to do this video. Just pay attention, notice how it's feeling. I'm really feeling a lot of lengthening going up the inside of this leg, up into my groin. You might prefer to have your left foot flat on the floor, aiming to keep your knee in line with your hips so it's not opening up to the side. That's an alternative stretch. In fact, everybody, bring your left foot to the floor, keeping that left hip down. Noticing that lengthening happening in the inside of the leg, and then allow your left knee out to the side. What's happening in your body when you do that? Everybody bringing that right foot back to centre, bending your knee, give it a bit of a hug. And placing the strap around your left foot, foot up towards the ceiling. Right leg is bent. And you can stay here. Remember to keep that left hip drawing down, so you're sinking your hips into the floor. My left leg is a lot tighter than my right. So you might notice one side much tighter than the other. It is getting better. I say better. There's no difference, no better, no worse. It is lengthening a wee bit more each time. So sending your heel up towards the ceiling. You can try to straighten your right leg. Oh, that's very strong for me. That might be very strong for you. If it is, try to release. Use your out breath to soften. Make sure your left knee isn't just locked in place. When you lock a joint, you lock that movement, you stop the freedom of movement. And gently opening your left leg to the side, keeping that right hip drawing down. Imagine I'm coming and pressing your hip down into the floor. You can use your right hand to press your right hip down, allowing it to release to the side. You might need to do what I just did, which is draw my right hip down again and bring my right and my left leg in a bit. You can even bring your right foot to the floor, knee bent. And everybody bringing your right foot to the floor, bend your knee, and then allow that right knee to open to the side. That can help draw your hip down. It's a tiny stretch on the right side as well. Slow your breath. And bringing that left leg in, giving it a hug. Feet to the floor, arms out in a nice Texas T if you're able, if you have the space. Lowering our knees to the right, little bit by little bit, so you're allowing them to release to the right for a few inches and then back to centre. And then allowing them to release to the right a wee bit more and then back to centre. And a wee bit more. So this is a lovely massage for your bum, for your IT band. It helps loosen your lower back and it helps to slow you down. You're just working one little bit at a time towards the floor. Getting closer. You might want a rolled up blanket or a bolster or some blocks to allow you to fully release down to the right. Looking over your left shoulder, allow your shoulders to sink towards the floor. Only look over the left if it's comfortable for your neck. Can you release any muscles? I just noticed my right butt cheek was clenched, so I just softened that. Use your out breath to release any areas of tension. We're starting to slow down, getting ready for Shavasana. And everybody bringing your knees back to center, giving them a wee bit of a hug, have a roll around, and releasing to the floor, arms out, and we're going to repeat that on our left. So releasing one little bit at a time. Enjoy the massage. Enjoy as you release that tension in your lower back. Allow your practice to start absorbing. And everybody gently releasing all the way to the floor. You can use a block or bolster under that left leg. Turning your head to the right, softening your shoulders, slowing your breath. Can you let go of any areas of tension? Everybody bringing your knees back to center, giving them a nice hug, have a roll around. Now if you have a bolster, you can pop it under your knees, or a rolled up blanket, or blocks, or books, or cushions, or pillows. You get the idea. You can pop something under your knees. If you're okay, you can just push your right heel away, sending it out along the floor to create that space in your back. Push your left heel away, I should say. So sending your heels away. By pushing them along the floor, you're creating that space in your back. Turning your shoulders under, so tucking your shoulders under, allowing your hands to face towards the ceiling, so you're opening that chest. And we're going to have a few moments in our Shavasana. You stay there, allowing your practice to absorb, slowing your breath, feeling your tummy expand as you breathe in, and soften as you breathe out. Softening your forehead, your cheeks, your jaw. Noticing the cool air as you breathe in and the warm air as you breathe out. Releasing your shoulders, your arms, your hands and your fingers. Gently scanning down your back and using your out breath to let go of any areas of tension. Feeling your tummy expand as you breathe in and soften as you breathe out. Releasing your hips into the floor and feel that lovely support and grounding. Softening your legs, your feet and your toes. Noticing any sounds you might hear outside of your room. Noticing any sounds you might hear inside of your room. And noticing any sounds you might hear inside of you. Releasing that awareness, letting go, and allowing yourself a few moments of quiet, letting your practice absorb. you can now stay in your Shavasana for a few moments longer. I will finish it here. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're all keeping well and you're continuing to practice. You can do this video more than once a week if you like. Yes, thank you so much. Look after yourselves. Thank you for the messages letting me know that you're still practicing and you're still getting on okay. It's good to hear from you. Thank you. And I will see you very soon. Namaste.